Okay, so we've managed to get the paper to display, and we've also managed to get the data-bound control of the postings to work. So we've managed to fill these labels in the author, title and abstract part. We've got the repeater to work such that we list all the kind of records in the posting table. Now we just need to allow this page to receive also comments that the user might have made about the paper if they press the post button. Okay. Now the way we need to handle that, I think, is at the very start of this page here, where we get paper ID equals params ID. We need to actually replace that such that because this page now is going to be in two modes. Currently it's only in one mode. The user arrives from mobile standards at ASPX, an ID parameter is passed, and therefore we know everything we need to know in order to find the paper and comments about the paper. But there is now the second mode we're adding, which is where the user posts back from inside the paper a comment about the paper. So from inside the page, a comment about the paper being discussed on that page. Okay. So this is the second mode of it. So we're going to, first of all, we're going to need to do a check for post back. And we know that if it's not a post back, namely if it's come from mobile standards or ASPX, then paper ID is going to be the same as request params.id. But if it is a post back, the question is, where is it going to find out which paper it's actually discussing? Somehow that paper ID needs to be passed with the post back. Okay. And there are a number of ways we can do that, but I'm going to teach you a new method we haven't yet covered, but which is extremely important in ASP Programmer, and that's called a session variable. We're going to save, when the user first arrives at the page, in a non-post back way. What we're going to do is we're going to save that paper ID as a session variable, and then we're going to use that session variable for all subsequent uses of it. So let's do that first of all. We're going to do, at the very beginning, we do something like that. If is post back, namely somebody's written a comment and now we're asking to save the comment, then someone type in here, save the comment. Okay, there's the comment. Else, okay, get the ID, save it, show the papers and the abstract. Okay, sorry, show the paper and the comments. Okay, so that's basically what we need to do here. Okay, get the ID, save it. Well, actually, we don't need to show the paper and the comments inside the if statement. That is going to happen every time we go to the page. Show the paper and the comments comes after the end if. Okay, so let's now go to do this thing. So saving the comment. If it is a post back, okay, we need to save the comment. Okay, if it's not a post back, first of all we need to save the ID of the paper into a session variable. So I'm going to say session open bracket quote article ID equals request dot params open bracket quote ID. Okay, so that's the session and the session article ID. Okay, and then instead of and what we'll do then subsequently is we'll say dim paper ID equals session article ID. Okay, sort of like and if it's a post back now, so that's the kind of thing we've done now. So we've got now, as soon as the user arrives at this page from mobile standards to ASPX, we've created a session variable, and the beauty of a session variable is that it persists. So when the user presses the button, the post button, that session article ID will still be populated with the value of the ID of the paper when the user first came to this page. Okay. So now let us actually do the saving of the comment. Okay. So saving the comment. Okay. Here it goes. So let's kind of so this is going to be an insert command. Okay, and we're going to be needing to be saving the title and the body of the comment, which has come from here. So if we're going to this page, we're going to be saving this, the title. We're going to be saving the full text of the comment. Okay, so that's the title and the body. we need to know about which paper it's going to be. We're going to be talking about, and that's essentially going to be session article ID. Okay, we need to save the user name, and we can get that from user identity.name, and we're going to have to save the posting date, which is not too difficult. Or all we have to do is use the datetime.now.date option. So let's kind of let's go into it then. So dim SQL str equals quote insert into posting is the name of the database table that we're going to be posting into. So then we're going to put in all the various fields, say title. I put them in square brackets. It's good practice. It means that if there are any reserved words that we're accidentally using, it won't cause a problem. Okay, so about paper is a reference to the ID of the paper we're commenting about. User name is the user, and finally posting date is the date we want to be putting in. Okay, and then we say values. Okay, and then at this point what we're going to put those kind of @ symbols followed by the various fields. So title, comma, at body, comma, at paper, comma, at username, comma, at posting date. Okay, so that's the SQL statement. Okay, so that's the full SQL statement that we're going to be actually using as the basis for our insert command. Okay, now we need to do as per usual. We need to create our DB command object. So dim new comment DB command. Just respell comment. DB command equals doing as new OLE DB command open bracket SQL str comma, and then we need to put in the OLE DB connection. Oh right, now wait a minute, that needs to go right at the very top of the page, because without that we won't be able to do anything. So I'm going to put that before everything else. I'm going to copy and paste that. So I'm going to put then OLE DB CMD, and that won't therefore cause any problems. Con. So now that has created our command object. Okay, and now we can do the parameters add with value for all of those commands. So we're going to put in new comment DB CMD dot parameters dot add with value open bracket quote. Let's know, here we go, putting the title, okay, and comma, and the value is going to be well, basically let's have a look on our discussion.aspx. Let's find out what the title, what the actual name of these fields are. So there's posting, and it's called, well, at the moment it's called text box 1, okay, and the other one is called text box 2. It might be nice to actually give those a better name. So I'm going to put properties. I'm going to call it TB, indicating it's a text box title, okay. And I'm going to call the other one TB body. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to be calling the two fields. Let's go back into our discussion point. So I'm going to put TB title.text. Okay, and then the same thing's going to happen with the body. So we can more or less just copy and paste that. Okay, so body is going to be replaced by TB body.text. Okay, so that's the second one. Okay, now we're going to have to do the paper. Okay, so the paper we will know because it will be in the session variable, session article ID. Okay, so what we can do now is kind of again do another copy and paste, add with value. Now here it's called at paper. Okay, I think that's what we called our @ symbol here. Yes, it is at paper. Now here we're going to put the session variable, which we know, because this being a post back, the session variable has been created by the user merely appearing at the page. Okay, so we've got that, we've got the paper. Next, we're going to be putting in the username. Okay, sorry, that was an accidental paste there. So now we're going to put in the new username. So that's going to be fairly straightforward. I think I put username in with a kind of lowercase n there, and so that's just going to be simple. It's going to be user.identity.name. Okay, and finally we're going to be putting in the date. So let's just copy again, new command parameters, add with value, don't need that extra line, and I'm going to put in posting date, and using the little construction date time now dot date. Okay, and that should fill the damn, I put a comma there instead of a dot. Date time now date, that will give us the date. Okay, and then finally we're just going to do the execute non-query. Okay, so I'm going to type in new comment db cmd dot execute non-query. Okay, and that's it's not quite right because I haven't spelled new comment correctly. Okay, now that, having done that, that should add the posting into the database. Okay, so on a post back now. So therefore, on the case of a post back, we're adding the comment that's been made to the database. Okay, if it's not a post back, meaning it's the first time we've come to the page, then we're just merely saving the ID parameter into article ID. Then everything else continues as before. Okay, so then we create this paper ID object from article ID, and then we go and display all the paper and all the comments on the paper. Okay, so now let's see if that does work. I'm going to go back into the website and through login.aspx. Okay, and so we'll log in, and then we'll go to a paper. We will sort of like try to add a comment about the paper. So I'm going to comment on this paper first, and I'm going to add a comment here. So this should be this. This is the third comment. Here is my third comment. Okay, and now I'm going to press post. And as you see there, here is my third comment. So we now have the whole thing working completely. We have everything we wanted sorted out. So there's our paper, here are all the comments, and here's the box underneath where we can write comments. Probably after a post back, what we need to do is actually clear the text fields, because that's not quite right. But it's now more or less there. We've created a perfectly functional discussion board, and there will be a discussion board for every single paper in the database. So every time you create a paper, we get more discussion. There is probably some issues of how you maintain, I suppose, how you kind of look after this discussion board, because eventually after a while it becomes just so huge. So how do you kind of like edit it? How do you kind of like save the really interesting posts and sort of say maybe in a new year you want different comments? So that's more to be just thought about later. But fundamentally, we've established a discussion board per paper.